VPN at technophilespodcast.com. I'm David Geisler, and this is the Technophiles Podcast.
So it's basically a pared-down version of Tomodachi Life, where you observe your me. You are your me, but you also observe them. It's kind of like a weird third-person, first-person experience.
This week, the cast gets together to talk about Nintendo's plan for more mobile apps, Magic Leap's mixed reality glasses, and SignAloud's gloves that can speak American Sign Language to anyone. Imagine flowers blooming in your mind's eye. How many flowers do you see? Because this is the Technophiles 295th episode. Hello and welcome to tonight's episode of the Technophiles Podcast. I am here with the regular cast, Krista-Lee Malone, Vee Laabs right over here, immediately to my left.
That's Jake.
And then Jacob Gill.
In case you forgot.
Oh my gosh, only my mother calls me that.
Jacob.
Oh.
Jacob!
And then Jacob Thomas if I'm in trouble.
David Michael. It's always the first in the middle.
Yeah.
David Michael. Do you know that I was almost Michael David? For the 9 months my mother was pregnant, my name was Michael David Geisler. And then the story goes, literally during birth, which apparently was like 24 hours, she was like, wait! She was like, what? I wanted to be David Michael Geisler. And the doctor was like, apparently the doctor was like, okay, it's fine, let's just keep going.
I keep telling my wife that, you know what, it's like ultimately it's up to me to decide what the name is because she's going to be doing her thing, and then they're going to hand me the birth certificate. What's the name? I'll be like, Han Solo.
Yes!
That's legit. That Han Solo.
Han Solo Gill. And then I'll be divorced. But hopefully I'll get some rights. A little Solo.
That'd be great. All right, everybody. So we are just getting back from our fantastic final live show, which was last week at the UWM Digital Humanities Lab. Mm-hmm. And final is like we did a deal with them where we would do 6 this season, and hopefully we'll be able to do more. And we've got some ideas for more live shows, and I hope that relationship with the Digital Humanities Lab continues because it was fantastic. But we spoke with Dan Norton, didn't we, Krista-Lee?
We did. I don't know. They should go watch the show.
Yeah.
Whoa, dang. Card. Click the card right there. Anyway, Krista-Lee, I threw it to you because you were able to...
Yeah, you caught me off guard there, David. What do you want me to talk about?
Well, sometimes that's, hosts need to be prepared for that.
How the turn
But I'm
tables.
like a Padawan host. I'm
so
not
Krista-Lee hosted our last
yet.
live show, and it was a lot of fun. It really was nice. And Jake, I honestly took to heart that joke you said about Dave, can just sit back and make bad jokes. I was kind of like, yes. Is this what it's like to not have to host a show? Because I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it was great.
You just listen and say amazing things. You don't have to worry about the timing or how long people have been talking or if there's 3 seconds of no noise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, they definitely should go watch the show. I mean, I guess I could say, afterwards, Dan, very cool guy, came out with us, despite the fact that he was an hour and a half away from home. I did not...
Solid.
Yeah, I seriously was not sure he would come out because I'm thinking, this poor guy has to drive an hour and a half, go home, get up, go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
No, he came out. He was a trooper, hung out with us over at NASA Dharma, had some great conversations, and I sent him the link to the show right away because he was very, please send it to me. I want to see it. Mm-hmm. And I think he's happy with it.
Yeah, I think so. It's out on iTunes and YouTube as all of our shows are, of course. Real quick, I want to talk about, I want to reminisce about that a little bit more. However, I do want to let our listeners know what we're actually talking about tonight. We have 3 stories. Vee, Krista-Lee, and Jake. Let's see. Vee, you have a story. I'm kind of excited because there's another situation where I actually don't know the stories. I can extrapolate. I can kind of guess what these are about tonight. But because I've been doing other post-production and because I'm doing the newscast this week, I have not read any of these stories, and I'm really excited to learn about them from you guys tonight. But Vee, I think the first thing we're going to talk about here in part 1 is Nintendo's announcement of more mobile games.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you and I kind of, day one when Miitomo came out about a month or so ago, you and I both downloaded, I think it was literally the day you were doing your newscast here in this studio.
Yeah, we both we had downloaded at the same time, and we're both going through the updates, quick pre-updates, and
I was really into
immediately answering questions.
Yeah, true. We used it immediately.
Do you still use it?
So let's get into it when we get into that topic, because I think the answer to that is yes and no.
Okay.
Part 2, then, we're going to go over to Magic Leap augmented reality glasses, which should debut at CES 2017, if I'm reading your notes correctly.
Yes,
here, Krista-Lee.
correct.
What's going on there?
So it's actually a user-submitted story. Luke Nanke I'm pretty sure it's said that right.
Thank you.
Yeah, he submitted
Thanks,
to me.
Thanks, Luke.
Yes, thank you, Luke.
Thanks, Nanks.
Because I did not know what I was gonna do, honestly, for this show, and then out of the blue, Luke sends me a private message, and I'm like, yes, there's my story. So it's a startup in Florida, and they're doing mixed reality. It's looking very promising, and they've got a ton of money being given to them. So we'll have some things to talk about.
That'll be at the end of part 2. We'll take a break and come back in part 3. And Jake, we're going to be talking about something that I actually had lined up for my newscast this week. And sure enough, I logged in this afternoon to see what stories we were talking about tonight. And I'm like, okay, Miitomo, that's cool, blah, 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 that's cool. And then I was like, what? Jake stole one of my stories. However, I think this is the place to talk about it. I'm so pleased. And Jake, what are we going to be talking about in part 3?
So we're talking about some sweet tech. They are gloves that they allow ASL. Whoa,
it's all right.
So
watch your hands.
You start. Yeah, I wanted to get physical with it because the gloves allow people who use sign language to sign, and then a computer talks.
Whoa!
Right. Yeah.
About what they're saying.
I know.
And so you can now have conversations. It's
Like
bridging a lot of gaps, and it seems really cool. So we'll get into that.
It's a lot. It's like Amy, ugly, gorilla. Amy, ugly, gorilla.
Tickle.
Yeah,
Amy, tickle.
That's fine, Amy. Have another martini. What? Because that happened to that movie.
Oh my god, that movie's so weird.
Anyway, yes, it's super cool, and I certainly don't mind that we talk about it here. But it was one of the things I had in my newscast, and
I'll sorry about that, David.
I'd rather talk about it with all of you, actually. Cool, with all y'all. So, Vee, Miitomo, let's do this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly Miitomo. It's Miitomo and beyond, isn't it?
Yes. So, March 31st, Miitomo came out, and it was a Saturday morning, I think? Friday morning? I can't remember.
I think we were shooting your newscast on a Thursday morning.
Oh, yeah.
That was a weird week.
It was a weird week. And it came out, and I didn't really realize until that morning. And so we both downloaded it. And in case you don't know, Miitomo is kind of like the mobile version of Tomodachi Life for the DS.
More importantly, broad strokes here, it is the first ever Nintendo piece of software to be, not released on non-Nintendo because there's all that weird CDI stuff.
Yeah.
But where this is the first time Nintendo's embracing mobile. Literally mobile operating systems, Android and iOS.
Directly from Nintendo, not kind of like Pokemon being licensed to some other thing. This is strictly
this is a Nintendo app.
Nintendo's
first app.
They own it, they made it, and they produce all the content for it.
There was a developer, it was a partnership, but yes, it's theirs.
Yeah, it's
okay.
theirs. So it's basically a pared down version of Tomodachi Life where you observe your me. You are your me, but you also observe them. It's kind of like a weird third person, first person experience. And you answer questions, and you friend your friends, and you dress up your me, and you play really frustrating drop games. And it exploded. It was on the top, downloaded social media apps list for a good long time. And it finally kind of just lowered down recently. But
it's been a solid month here that's been out.
It's still top 50 though, right?
Yeah.
46.
Absolutely.
Over the course of a month, they've gotten 10 million new players.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of people
consistently playing. Well, we've signed up with their app,
and at the end of the day, it's not even really a game. It's kind of just everything. I'm going to say this in a weird way, but just go with me. It's everything that's good about the Miis. So there's a lot of different ways that I had a feeling I was going to get a look like that from Krista-Lee. Krista-Lee gave me a look like there's good things about Miis.
No, I'm just not following. I have not used the app at all.
Yeah, and Jake's look was like, what's a Mii?
So the Mii is the avatar system on it started with the Nintendo Wii, and then it came to the DS, or the 3DS specifically, and now it's on the Wii U. And
it's kind of like your Xbox Live avatar.
No. Your Xbox Live avatar is kind of like a Mii. Just saying. Yeah. They copied Nintendo. Just saying. I'll be a fanboy for 5 seconds here.
No.
They flat out copied Nintendo.
I think you're right. Well,
of course they did. No, of course they did. Yeah. It was a year or two later, and they were like, "Well, we're gonna do that Nintendo thing. It'll be more avatar, that Nintendo thing's really family friendly. We're gonna do that with the Xbox."
Yeah.
Anyway, so with Mii's, you make your little paper doll character, and of course, in the games, you can integrate them into some Nintendo games. But
so you play Wii Sports, and you can play as your avatar, and then
or you play Mario Kart, and you can bring your avatar in and have it be the racer.
And
or
like,
you play
you can
Smash Brothers, you can bring your avatar in and put it in the game.
And if you befriend your friend on the consoles or your 3DS or your Wii or U or whatever, their Miis can come visit your games and they'll like appear in the crowds and you're like, oh, there's my friend.
Which is a little bit fun.
Yeah, and like Darth Vader will pop up there too.
We did like really deep cut Miis. We did like Jason Robert Brown, which is a musical theater composer. We did, like, I don't know, there's a lot of them. But anyway,
I always loved the abstract art Miis where it became
they try to make a picture of
like the Mona Lisa.
Sure. So, but the thing is, what happened, especially with the Wii, and a little bit on the Wii, more on the Wii U as well, and a little bit on 3DS, but it started in the Wii where you download these little like apps. They were calling them channels back then, and it was like, hey, everybody can ask questions about their Mii's, or everybody votes Mii app. Everybody dresses up their Mii and puts them in a park Mii app or whatever, right? Okay. So these Mii's are really just like social doll houses. It's kind of, there's a little bit of a meta thing where you can put them into your games, but really there's this other culture of taking care of your Mii's. Well, Miitomo absolutely 100% goes that route, wouldn't you say? There's no game to it.
There's no game. It's just entirely social. And it combines a lot of those elements into the same thing where you're communicating with your friends and you answer questions.
You're buying clothes for your Mii. You're changing the face. Just like, I mean,
it rewards.
Is this like do you have to pay for it? Are there in-app purchases?
Free. Well, it's a pretty deep freemium. It's a deeply it's freemium, but it's very passive freemium.
It is like that's what I was impressed by.
You can easily not pay any money,
and not even realize you have to pay any money if you like. Like the only way I found out you can buy like Miitomo coins, which is the currency. When you talk to people, you get rewarded with coins.
Yeah.
And you can buy stuff in the shop. I didn't have enough coins for this awesome pair of sneakers that I wanted, and I tried to buy them anyway. And it was like, hey, you can buy Miitomo coins with actual real life money.
Sure.
And that's like the only place. I looked all throughout and I could not find a single button that was like,
so
just
impulse
buy
buyers
There's
everywhere,
a menu down.
rejoice.
There's a typical menu down there where it's $1 for $50, $2 for $500, whatever. But you don't have to do any of it. In contrast, we were talking about this in the pre-show. I downloaded Star Wars Heroes, right? Star Wars Heroes app the other day, and it's just like front and center, the 1-2 punch of like freemium.
Buy stuff right away.
Almost got to buy stuff right away, and I was just kind of really turned off by that. The Miitomo app. Full disclosure, I deleted it now. I don't use it anymore because ultimately it didn't have lasting power for me. But I don't want to like put a negative context on all this. But the Miitomo app never made me feel like I needed to buy something. But anyway, V.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like a fashion dork, so I was all like, I want new clothes for my Mii like every day. So I'm gonna go.
Let me point this out too. I didn't delete the app because I got disinterested. I actually kind of liked it. It rewards you every day you come in. I think I played it for about a solid 30 days. Played it, opened it up every day, and got in there and answered questions and asked questions for a solid 30 days. Ultimately, I ended up deleting it when I needed to download apps that were more important to me.
Yeah.
Like work apps for Technophiles, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ended up saying like, Miitomo, it's not all gig, but it's easily 500 or 600 megabytes.
Yeah. Okay. And it also sucks so much battery.
It uses the battery up. And so ultimately I was kind of like, I'm kind of BSing questions and answers for people that I care about, but it's kind of extract space I don't really care about that much, and it's taking up 600 space on my phone. So for me, I ended up deleting it, but I still think they're onto something. But I have to be careful because we're not technically reviewing Miitomo here, are we?
We aren't. So this was their big like first step forward, and it was pretty much a success.
It's absolutely a success.
So in their like financial report that they put out today and yesterday, wait, is it the 27th? They also have a report that's dated tomorrow.
Japan.
Yeah, they're always ahead of us. They announced that they will be doing 2 more mobile games. They will be doing an Animal Crossing mobile game and a Fire Emblem game.
Right.
Which is kind of surprising.
The Fire Emblem's kind of surprising because Nintendo's been, a year or two ago, I think we even talked about it on the show here. Maybe we talked about it on Branching Dialogue, but Nintendo basically announced, okay, fine, we're going to start putting some of our games on mobile. Which was a big deal because this is almost against Nintendo's business philosophy. You know what I mean?
Though I don't know if it will be necessarily the games and not just like a supplemental thing.
So this is why I'm glad you're going that way because this is what I was leading to.
Yeah.
So this Miitomo app makes perfect sense. The first Nintendo app wasn't New Super Mario Brothers iOS. see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
It was this kind of social complementary experience. You're still going to do that. You're still going to go buy Mario Brothers for your NX or your Wii U or whatever is the plan.
Or the new system they talked about, right?
So the NX, exactly.
They announced that it's coming out next year.
Didn't know it was called the NX. My bad.
Well, the Nintendo NX is the operating system that it's all being.
Okay.
Episode 39 on Branching Dialogue. You may want to go back and check it out there. Jake.
I must have missed that one. Apologies.
Yeah,
but anyway, so Animal Crossing makes a lot of sense to me because it's probably going to be some complimentary social experience.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem is a game.
Yeah, it's like a turn-based kind of army management and also almost romance.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. That's all just part of the storyline. But the mechanics are essentially a board game. It's Advance Wars, and Advance Wars is it. But yeah. So that one kind of makes sense to me because it might be this kind of words with friends strategy.
Maybe it's like
you play a move, send it to another person, play a move. But I suspect that this third game, this Fire Emblem, is going to be the closest they get to well, it's the first step really to maybe them actually releasing a game is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I'm also thinking about kind of if they could sync things up with the DS and if perhaps the Animal Crossing game is like a sub game where you can get extra bells, you can earn more money.
I was totally gonna posit that in just a second.
If they go that route though, what do you do with people who don't have Animal Crossing?
Well, I mean, Miitomo, you can link that to your Nintendo account.
You can use Miitomo all on its own.
Mm-hmm. But if you don't have a Nintendo account, it's still fine. It still works fine.
Okay.
It's still...
So you could import quote unquote your Mii or take the Mii and take it to your account and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. If you have an existing account.
Can you go backwards? So I have Miitomo and then I get a Wii or whatever and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Sweet.
Yeah, as it'll link to your Nintendo profile.
So once Nintendo finally figured out a few years ago, oh shoot, we should have a common profile for all our players. It took them a decade to figure that out, I will admit.
It's pretty bogus.
Once they figured that out, a lot of this stuff started making sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just as long as it took them to figure out that mobile is a market that they should be in.
Well, and that makes a little bit of sense. I mean, I get it. I'm a bit of a Nintendo fanboy, but I can totally see the mistakes that they were making with that. Because I don't think Nintendo, I imagine 5 years ago or 8 years ago or 9 years ago, Nintendo didn't imagine that games are going to be played on phones.
Yeah, sure.
They were the leading handheld game playing situation. Mm-hmm. Then you get a couple puzzle games on a phone. Okay, fine, not too bad. But then you get full games on phones.
Right.
And the biggest DS competitor was iPhones and Android phones.
Right.
True, but a lot of developers also talk about the mobile market being very volatile and you can sink a lot of money into development and then get none of it back. So that might have also been a calculated, yes, it's a big thing right now, but we're okay not doing it.
No, I agree. And Nintendo's whole business strategy is that their hardware and software relationship with their hardware and their software is all one package as far as how they view things. Mm-hmm. So even with Miitomo coming out, it's still existing very much as a ambassador to the Nintendo experience.
Sure.
It's still using your Nintendo account and all that kind of stuff. It runs inside its own. If you pay close attention to Miitomo, it has a bit of a load to it.
Yeah.
And that's because it has its own little kind of
engine?
I mean, if I wanted to be really optimistic, it might have the bare bones of NX engine in it. I don't think that's the case, but it's probably going to be. But it's still if you look really close at the Miitomo app, it's actually a little Nintendo system in there running Miitomo. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not.
It feels like I'm playing a 3DS game just flipped on its side.
A little bit. But anyway, so Fire Emblem, and that's cool. We're almost running out of time, and I've been talking a lot. I've hijacked your story a little bit because I got excited.
No, it's okay. I love discussing this stuff. It's really exciting.
What are some of your thoughts about what's going on here? Good thing, bad thing?
I think good thing. They are definitely following kind of in the steps or the footsteps of Bethesda. When they came out with Fallout 4, they announced the Vault management game. Right. I can't remember. I don't
It was like Vault Dwellers or...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. You were like the leader of the vault and you organized everything. Yep. And that was completely not, it was just not linked to it at all.
Was it the same app or a different app as the complimentary one? that ran while you played the game.
Ooh, that was a different app.
That was a different app.
It was completely separate.
But like, see, here's the thing.
people
Maybe
still
the
played
Vault
that.
game drives to the secondary app game.
I mean, they certainly hope so, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's probably the plan there.
Yeah. I actually haven't used that secondary app.
Fire Emblem's interesting. If they're going to use Fire Emblem... Wait, what is this? I see Zelda down there.
They announced Zelda for the NX and
yeah,
for
we
the
knew
Well,
Wii
they
U.
announced the delay, right?
And the
Yeah.
delay.
They announced... Yeah, right.
It's fine, right?
Hey,
in
remember that
between.
Wii U game we've been working on for 4 years? It's going to be for the
Come on
NX.
later.
A little longer.
Sorry, guys.
You know, they generally deliver, so, you know.
Yeah, they have to take their time.
So the most interesting thing from the article, in my perspective, was this idea of like them potentially building momentum, and this being like kind of a Nintendo, like, I don't want to say power play, but like, yeah, Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem, okay, and everyone's sitting there like, how often do you pick up your iPhone or your Android phone and you go, I just want to freaking play Mario?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right? And so everyone's screaming about it, and they're just like, yeah, we know. And so if things go well, then you just kind of let it happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, here it is, and everyone just goes insane, and
the truth is,
they
rake
like
it in.
settle in.
The truth is, Jake, and we talked about this half a year ago on episode 39 of Branching Dialogue, but the NX is basically... Wait, why do you make that face?
Because I need to go and listen to that. I feel
okay.
like I've got 8 seasons that I need to catch up on.
I know, it's fine. I'm not trying to rub that in. I'm saying it for our listeners who are listening.
Yeah.
But what we really... That was when the NX
have
was
8
very
seasons to catch
early,
up on.
and it was intuitively obvious that our tagline for that episode was the next Nintendo system isn't a system, it's an operating system.
Okay.
And that's really kind of what the NX is looking like. The NX is going to have tons of different hardware. Really, okay, long and short of it, and then we'll go to break. Nintendo is kind of doing a Steam impression, is what it looks like they're going with this. They're going to create an operating system that runs the games. Those games will, speculation, they'll also still run on Wii U. Many of them will run on Wii U, run on whatever new hardware they make. There's going to be a new handheld piece of hardware. There's going to be a new kind of Apple TV-esque, Roku-esque piece of hardware that's going to run. And what's happening is, we talked about this on this episode, that code can still run at the NX operating system can run inside of, and they said this officially, inside of Android and iOS.
That's insane.
So what's really it's looking like is you might buy... This is a lofty goal, what I'm saying right now. There's a lofty vision, but you could imagine a scenario where you buy new Super Mario Brothers 34 or whatever it is, and which is fine. I love all of them, but like new Super Mario Brothers 34. And you buy it and you can play it scaled down on your iPhone, scaled up on your TV, somewhere in the middle on your DS and stuff like that is kind of the plan, is what it's looking like. In fact, the code system for the NX has that scaling ability, much like a PC or Steam. Anyway, so it kind of looks like Nintendo's going that route a little bit, which I think this is steps into that direction.
Heck yes.
Sweet.
Let's go to break.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this will become Branching Dialogue.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to break. We'll come right back. And in part 2, let's see, Krista-Lee, we're going to be talking all about augmented reality glasses. Sound good?
Yep.
Fantastic. I'll see you guys in a bit. Before that, though, Vee, if people want to find you on Twitter to talk to you about... if they want to find you on Miitomo, can they even do that?
They can. They can use my Twitter username, bear_Annika.
Oh, yeah, you can sync Miitomo to your Twitter and all that stuff.
So if you follow people, you can find them and add them.
Sweet.
It's pretty sick.
Krista-Lee, where can people find you? Let's just do this.
They can find me on Twitter at GamerAnthro, and maybe I'll consider downloading and getting a Miitomo.
I think download Miitomo. If you've got a spare 600 megabytes on your phone, download it for a few weeks just to see where they're going.
Well, and that's going to be the question. I don't know if I have the space, but I'll look into it.
Yep.
Right. Jake, I know you definitely have the space.
Don't delete Skritter to make room for it.
I know
I
that you have the space on your
never
freaking
delete Skritter.
64 megabyte phone over there. So you're going to be downloading
I don't think I
Miitomo.
got the 64. That seems excessive.
I thought you had the 64 gigabyte
I
iPhone.
don't remember. Maybe it's the 32.
That's the problem. I don't remember which one I have.
Whatever. Yeah. Anyways,
I remember that I had the 16 gigabyte every day because I have to delete apps every day.
See, I hate deleting apps. Yeah, so if you want to tell me about what other Technophiles episodes I've missed, you can contact me at Critical Owl.
Fantastic. We love when people tweet the show at Technophiles Pod. Find us on iTunes, Facebook, and Stitcher by searching Technophiles Podcast, or go to our YouTube page by searching Technophiles. And that's about it. You can go to our actual website, technophilespodcast.com. All right, everybody, I'll see you in part 2. Augmentary glasses. I think we're gonna get into that augmentaries.
Magic leap.